Launch code. Access granted.
Hello, welcome to GED exam preparation class. I am your host and instructor, Ruben Herrera. And on this video, my friends, we're going to talk about interpreting nonfiction. So let's get started. The first topic that I want to talk about is plot elements. Okay, a plot refers to the event in a story. Generally, the events are told in order of what happens first, next, and so on, so on. A story usually contains at least one conflict or problem. The conflict may be between characters, within a characters, or between a character and nature. Okay, so for example, the plot of a movie. I like to use movies a lot as an example because everybody loves movies. Everybody watches movies nowadays. For example, the plot for the movie Taken. Okay, everybody watched that movie and it's a great movie. I think they already did part 1, 2, and 3. Anyways, the plot for the movie Taken, it's a guy which first a daughter was kidnapped, and then he's been told that his daughter is being kidnapped, and then he goes after the bad guys and try to get his daughter back. Okay, very nice. Or I don't know how many parts have they done, 1, 2, and 3, or maybe I know they have at least 2 parts. Anyways, so that's what the plot is. The plot is the main problem. It's not just what the movie is about, but what the problem, or what is the conflict, what the conflict of the movie is, or what is the main problem of the movie is. That's what the plot is, or the plot elements. Okay, very nice. Let us go into our next topic. Now let us talk about inference. Okay, an inference is based on information you are giving plus what you have learned about the real world, the way things happen, and the ways people are. For example, John hears a smoke alarm and it smells burnt bacon. Okay, therefore John can infer that his next door neighbor burned his breakfast. Okay, so an inference is very similar to something that we is something similar that we learned in a previous video. Is not the exact same thing. Remember, my friends, we talk about application of ideas. So for example, let us make an inference. We all have that aunt or that uncle that we know when he or she starts drinking, they're going to get pretty drunk and things are going to get very messed up, and someone is going to have to volunteer to drive him back home. Well, that's an inference. You already, based on the information that you were given, oh my goodness, my aunt Laura started drinking. Oh my goodness, she's gonna get too drunk and somebody's gonna have to drive her home. Well, yeah, that's an inference. I'm sorry that I used this example, but we all have a relative in our families like that, or most of us do anyways. Okay, let us go into our next topic. Okay, let us talk about character. Okay, characters are people who inhabit a story. The personalities and motivations of characters are often stated directly by the narrator, or the person who is telling the story. Did I say narrator or narrator? I hope I'm saying it. I hope I'm saying that right. Uh, as you can tell by now, I have a sexy Latino accent. Stay thirsty, my friends. Okay, so I apologize if some of these words right here, I don't pronounce them correctly. Okay, so yeah, so that's what the characters are, the people who live on your story, and characters are usually represented by the way they look, the way they talk, or their actions. Okay, very nice. Let us go into our next topic. Our next topic is about theme. Okay, the theme sometimes is confused with the plot of a story. Okay, theme, there is more to a story than its subject. As a reader, look for what the author is trying to say about the subject. That is the theme, the message the author wants the reader to understand. For example, on the movie Saving Private Ryan, the theme is, or the movie is about, is World War II. On all the movies of Star Wars, the theme is about galactic wars. Okay. For example, another example, um, everybody, well, many people seen a very good classic movie. It's called, well, it's classic by now. It's called Friday. Everybody's seen it or heard of it at least once. The movie Friday is about, the theme is just hanging out in the neighborhood, you know, seeing people walking by, not necessarily getting in trouble, but seeing some kind of trouble, and well, the rest of it. Um, Another topic or other topics I may not be able to talk about here in YouTube or in this video, but you know what I mean. Okay, very nice. So the theme is pretty much, where things happen, or, the atmosphere of, where this story happened. Okay, so let us go now into our next topic. In our next topic, we have a style and point of view. Okay, the individual characteristics that a writer chooses, sentence structure, choice of words, use of images, and other devices are all part of the writer's style. Another choice a writer makes, which is point of view, to write the form. For example, the writer can write a story on first or third person. So the point of view of a story, my friends, is when, for example, and we see this also a lot in video games. Whenever we see video games that are first person shooter or third person shooter, a first person is, when you are seeing the movie or reading this story, with your own eyes right in front of you. When there is a second person or a third person, it's somebody else telling this story for you or narrating this story for you. Okay. So yeah, so this is what we call, styles and point of view. Well, we kind of talked about the styles a little bit before in another lesson. Style also is when, the choice of words, the opinion and the words and the tone that the writer uses to tell the story, And the point of view, it can be first, or it can be a third person, or it can be actually a character. Sometimes we all seen those movies or those stories where there is a character on a movie or a TV show, and then the character looks at the camera and is like, narrating or saying something to that person that is watching the show. Okay, so those are points of view. Okay, let us go into our next topic, that is figurative language. Okay, figurative language refers to the words that are being used to mean something other than the actual literally meaning. For example, the classroom is an ice box. Okay, also, I've told you a million times to clean your room. Okay, so for example, this is figurative language. For example, when we say the classroom is an ice box, that doesn't mean that the classroom is a giant ice box. It just means that the air conditioner on the classroom, somebody set up the air conditioner very cold. It's just very cold in there. Also, when somebody says, well, I told you a million times to do this or to clean your room, that person literally didn't tell you a million times to clean your room. It'll take probably years or a lifetime to repeat something a million times. Okay, I hope that you guys enjoyed this lesson as much as I enjoy making this for you, and I'll see you guys in the next class. Bye bye.
Launch code. Access granted.